101.3 MyFM. It is A10. That is Kimayo and Wildflower. And here is Kimayo on Facebook and on the air with me. Hello, Kimayo. How are you?
I'm well. Good morning. How are you?
Good. Good to see you again.
You as well.
I think last time you were on, you were actually promoting that song Wildflower. So when was that?
That was, I don't remember when we were actually recording for this radio, but we released the song August 18th
August
last
18th.
Sunday.
So just about 6 months later, 7 months later, you're putting out a new single, part of an album. Or are you getting ready to put something a little bigger out, or are you just dropping the singles? Because it's weird. Albums went out years ago. People recorded 10, 12 songs, and they released it to the public. And now, I don't know if it's short-term memory with people or short attention span, but it's like, here's a single, here's something now, here's something you can listen to over and over and over again, and then I'll give you another one in 2 months. What's in the mind of a recording artist in 2021 when it comes to releasing music?
Oh, what a great question. So many things are in our minds because you're right, there has been this shift from folks getting albums and listening to full records and experiencing the artistry that comes with creating such a full piece of work to wanting snippets or little bites of what a musician or an artist puts out into the world. I think there's a couple reasons for that. I think that has to do with the digital world, everything being so accessible on streaming platforms. So as an artist, I'm very aware that if somebody wants to hear a specific song, they can just go listen to it. Back in the day, I remember getting cassettes, and you had to fast forward to the parts that you liked, which meant that you usually just listened to the entire cassette.
It's
Or
funny you
for a
say that.
CD.
I mentioned that the other day. I was talking about cassettes because I do a totally awesome 80s Wednesday thing here. And that's exactly what you did. You knew every song on that album because you didn't really feel like fast forwarding because you couldn't always catch the beginning of the song you wanted. So you just listen to the whole thing. But that was the thing. We would listen to the entire, and I would imagine the same with albums, although it was a little easier finding the groove on the album. But a cassette, you got the whole album from front to end.
And well, even with CDs, you could click and fast forward very easily to go to different songs. But I also think there was a luxury of, or a specialty about purchasing an item. You were going out and taking the time to financially spend money on an investment of music. And
It's
so
something
there
that's
was
in
more
your
of a
hand.
desire, right? There was more of
Yeah.
a specialty to listening to the entire thing. There was excitement built up about when it would come out, whereas when it's digital, if there's a song on an album, you don't have to listen to it.
Right.
So as an artist, I think about all of those things. There is definitely a bigger push right now for listeners to want just single songs or nuggets, if you will. And it's similar, I think, to the way that television shows have shifted. They do mini series or they do limited series, and they put it all out at once.
Yeah.
And so there's just been a lot of changes in all of the industries because of streaming. So I think about all of those things when I'm coming out with music. To answer your other part of the question, I do. This song is a specific single drop, but I certainly have plans for bigger projects dropping in the future and doing larger quantities of music so that I can have the experience and the joy of presenting a full piece of work to
Sure.
the world. Because that's something that I think an album you don't get if you're listening to a single, what a full album offers, not just musically, but as an experience.
And it's very easy. I mean, I just found you on iTunes, so I have all your music right in front of me now. But that must change the way you write when you're thinking about producing an idea. Um, you really have to think hard if it's going to appeal to the masses. Like you might have something in your heart that might not be as mainstream as your people want it to be, and you want people to listen to it. But what's that process like? Sometimes I would think you'd have to bypass the real music that you want to do to think about the masses just to get that one single out. You know where I'm going with that?
I do. I hear you. I think that also depends on the why behind what you're doing, and the type of audience that you have, the type of listeners that you have, and the types of fans that you have supporting you. So when I think about my songs, I'm not thinking about, oh, is this going to bode well on the radio when I write a song? Because for me, writing is such a personal way of processing things, healing and growth and figuring things out, and it's very an emotional process for me. So if I write a song, I'm not thinking as I'm writing it, oh, are the public gonna like this?
Sure.
That does inform, however, which songs I select. It does inform how I produce songs in a certain way. Not extensively, but it does play a role. So, for example, when I came out with Wildflower, I knew that up until Wildflower, people had been listening to me as an acoustic singer-songwriter. Me and my guitar, and that's it. It was really important for me to create something that embodied a full production tune, that was that balance between the folk world, the grassroots experience of the acoustic environment, and this pop, more upfront, produced experience as well. So I wanted to merge the two of them. So that was really important. As I thought about this song, I knew that I had created an experience that was a fun, lighthearted, upbeat tone, but it was important for me with this new song to make sure people still know that that heart piece of Phoenix, my first album, and that authenticity that comes through in the rawness of that album is still a part of who I am as an artist, because I haven't lost that. So for this song, there's a sense of solidarity, I think. I've said before on other shows, and with every concert that I do, I start by saying my vision, my hope, my desire today is to cultivate connection, solidarity, and hope. So I have this song come out in August that really embodies this message of hope and inspiration and lightheartedness and joy. I have this song coming out right now that really embodies the sense of solidarity that I hope people experience, especially through the year 2020 and what everyone's been through. So moving forward, I already have in my mind, oh, there needs to be a sense of connection. How do I embody that in a song?
Yeah.
So with singles, there's still an art to it. There's an art to the songs you choose and how you put them out there, and an art to the way that they're produced, because I want them to embody different things as well. So I definitely think about all of that stuff.
And you're still an acoustic artist, you're a folk artist, you're out there playing your guitar. So you do want the music, like you said, to translate well live in front of an audience. When it's just you, you could have a full band, but like Beyonce, how does she go out there by herself and perform one of her songs? She can't. So, you know what I mean? Like, she's got to have the digital music and the band behind her. But there's something very raw about an artist like you. And I think it just, not to knock any of those other artists, but it does make a deeper connection with the audience.
Well, I appreciate that. And I also think you're touching on the difference between the singer-songwriter piece versus a musician or an artist having somebody come to them with a song.
Sure. Yeah.
Because for me, when I sit down and I write a song, it's me and the instrument. It's
Yeah.
my voice and the guitar, or my voice and a piano. And so it is very raw. And I know that it will translate if I have to perform it by myself, or if I have the privilege of performing with other musicians and with a full band. Because with the full production version, I know it works with full production, and with the original creation of it, it was just me and one other instrument.
Sure.
So I know that it bodes well on both ends.
Well, set up this song for us, and thank you so much for joining us. The website's right there, kimayomusic.com. And as I showed you on iTunes, you can pick up the single and the album very easily. Set up the new song, Around the Sun, which just dropped yesterday.
I would love to do that. The song's called Around the Sun. I wrote it last June around Father's Day. It's a tribute to my dad, Charlie. He was diagnosed with cancer when I was 8, and he passed away when I was 15.
Sorry.
Thanks. So I've written songs about his passing before, when I was younger, and through my 20s. A lot of them typically embodied more of the pain and the hurt side of that experience. And this past year was a funny year because it represents a shift between how long my dad was a part of my life to living more years of my life without him being part of it. And and realizing that transition, I wanted to embody and create something that was both an acknowledgement of the pain that you experience when you lose someone and when you grieve, that hurt, that ache, that guttural depth. And I wanted to acknowledge the joy, the gratitude, the appreciation that you can experience in such a profound way as you heal through grief, because that pain doesn't ever go away and that emptiness doesn't disappear, but there can be a lot of beauty that grows out of it. So it was important to embody that. So the song came out yesterday. It's on all music platforms, and tonight at 8 p.m. on my Facebook channel at Kimayo Music, I'm doing a live stream music video premiere as well, and I created that actually using home video footage that I converted to digital. So I'm
Oh,
really excited
fantastic.
to be sharing that on Facebook and YouTube tonight at 8 p.m.
Well, Camille, great catching up with you, and congratulations on the new single. Can't wait to hear
Thank
it. We're going to
you.
play it in 1 second. And have a fantastic weekend. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter, and thank you again for having me. It's always a pleasure, so thank you.
All right. Take care.